Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. This podcast is a weekly revealing of the recovery journey of peer support specialist Trent Thomas. Join him on his internal research-driven dive into what to and what not to do in sustaining recovery. His weekly episodes demonstrate that you are not alone, and what we can't do alone, we can do together. This life is hills and valleys, but we were built for struggle. These weekly episodes are a journey into his life lessons as he fulfills his daily mandate to help someone other than himself. Welcome to Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. Welcome to the Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. This is Trent Thomas, your recovery peer support specialist. Tonight's episode is entitled Discerning Marriage in Recovery. Being married in recovery offers some unique situations. For those unevenly yoked or married to someone in recovery, there exists a simple question. Do you stick it out with the person in recovery or exit stage left as soon as possible? This dilemma positions itself differently depending on where the person in recovery is in their stage of recovery. In early recovery, one is inevitably dealing with the past pain caused by the bad decisions of active addiction. This pain, if in relatively short-term memory, requires a definite degree of forgiveness and certainly prayerful consideration. At any rate, in early recovery, the uncertainty of relapsing is a constant thought in the marriage partner's mind. It is imperative that the decision to leave or stay be made in earnest and with a steadfastness that will redraw the line of consent. To stay or leave is a personal, heart-wrenching decision, but is a decision that must be made. I knew a person who was married to an individual that suffered from alcoholism and knew that her marriage partner was not going to recover. Instead, he made a decision to not recover and die. She decided to stay and watch him go to the hospital and die. After his death, she suffered from guilt. The guilt that she should have done more to save him, maybe deny him the liquor he sought, or force him to go to a rehab. When I met her, I informed her of what I knew to be true, and that was every human has the right to recover or not. No one can force that decision on any other human. He had the right to recover and live, or not recover and die. For that reason, recovery is a decision to live and not die. Her only choice was to leave that relationship or stay in it and bear witness to his decision. However, whatever the decision, it was his to make, and she could not force him to recover. Recovery mandates participation by the individual in need of help. No one can be forced to live. I was once in a hospital room and heard a doctor respond to a family member who told the doctor to force their mother to take life-saving medication. The doctor told her he could not and would not force any patient to accept medication. If the patient didn't want the life-saving help, then unhook her and prepare her to expire. That was her right. That day I learned the power we all possess as humans, the right to recover or not. Not everyone recovers. Some choose not to. That is why they have a slogan that states, in the process of recovery, we must be prepared to step over a few bodies. Death is a part of life. The decision to live is personal and a right of everyone. In marriage, there is a quote that states, until death do us part. Death can be a negative decision, a decision that everyone gets to make. In marriage, there must exist a union so tight that not even a sheet of paper can come in between. A union of trust and truth, where when one has a problem, then they both have a problem. Solving problems is a us situation. There should never exist a me or you declaration. Intimacy is a mandate of marriage. To be intimate is not just sexual, but includes revealing everything to one another. No secrets. A binding of two humans into a union of one. Them becomes us. You becomes me. We exist as one. The act of intimacy or sexual content should be freely given and received. There should never be a bartering or exchange of services. Physical activity is a merit of the marriage union. To deny or barter, this causes a separation and creates an unhealthy want and need scenario that will get fulfilled outside the marriage. This will cause a problem that results in separation. Marriage is a living organism that must be cared for, nurtured, and placed in the highest esteem. A marriage must be protected at all costs from all enemies. I once told a young lady that when her baby's daddy felt that all other women's sexual presentation was a sincere threat to him and his family, even his life, only then would he be in a mindset of marriage. Until then, she could wait or not. But a man must learn how to be in a committed monogamous relationship. Otherwise, he would continue to chase other women's sexual presentation, and until he viewed it as a poison that could prematurely end his life, he would not be a good candidate for marriage for her or any woman. Marriage is a union, a contract between two individuals to do better together instead of separately. A marriage union is a conscious decision to join two minds and bodies together as one. Marriage is the merging of life's plans, a planning that incorporates the lives of two individuals under an umbrella of unity, one direction, one set of plans. In fact, it is the planning that the composition of marriage is derived, a plan of life for life, a life together in happy unison, a plan of unity where serenity is the goal. Since life is circular, it becomes imperative to plan accordingly, especially when many of the obstacles in life have been previously experienced. Life planning for two should include input from both parties. A man's analytical approach coupled with a woman's tenacity for emotional detail and feeling when a thing is right or not so right. Both man and woman would do well to include and respect each other's capabilities. With reasoning and the correct feel for approaching any problem, a plan should include both a man's analytical approach and a woman's feel for correctness and pertinence. With an inclusionary spirit, a marriage can produce a feeling of happy unison, often felt when a plan comes together. The serenity felt when God places events as He ordains and events come together as He prescribes. The blessing of happy unity envelops both man and woman as the fruits of His purpose comes to life. Marriage can be the happiest of all existences, especially when a man and woman join hands under the guidance of God and His plan of submission. Marriage is designed as a man is under submission to God and a woman is under submission to man. Here, submission is defined as protection. Man is under God's protection as a woman is under a man's protection. If God is put first in a marriage, the plans for the marriage will fall under the same blessings as each member of the union. The sanctity of marriage can bring true happiness and fulfillment when the unity of marriage is held as a chief component of daily serenity. Serenity is defined as when one knows everything is already all right. A marriage steeped in serenity produces the highest form of happiness, the kind of happiness only God can give. This is Trent Thomas on another episode of Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. You can now subscribe to this podcast and receive special in-depth episodes for subscribers only, as well as a private personal email account to communicate directly with me for comments and show suggestions. In addition, I'll be doing podcast shout-outs to all those subscribers who request shout-outs. As always, your inspiring comments can be left at transnetrecover.com/podcast. Please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, #TransNetRecover. Thank you and have a blessed day.